Good day, teachers. Good day, everyone, especially to our professor, Dr. Velez. I am the discussant of the topic Reading as Comprehension. So, for our objectives for today's lesson is that after studying this module, you should be able to first summarize the basic features and propositions of the schema theory. Second, you will enumerate and explain types of prior knowledge that help readers bridge the gap between what they know and new information in a text. Third, you will use the features of the schema theory to explain individual differences in reading comprehension. Fourth, you will draw implications of the schema theoretic view of reading for instructions. And last, you will apply the principles of schema theory for a reading lesson. Let us first define what is comprehension. Comprehension is the ultimate outcome of a reading and is essential for understanding and remembering text. Accurate word recognition doesn't guarantee understanding. So, what is schema theory? Schema theory explores how knowledge is organized and used. It explains how the learning integrates with existing knowledge and aids in understanding and interpreting information. A powerful feature of the schema theory is that it helps us to better understanding how new learning integrated with the knowledge an individual already possesses. It tries us to explain how we learn, modify, and use information acquired through our life experiences, including reading. So, what are schemata? Schemata are the units of knowledge that are help in organizing and interpreting our information. They act as mental structures or frameworks. Schemata is defined as the building block of cognition or a knowledge. This definition may be better understood through an analogy. Okay, think of your knowledge as a building. A building is actually made up of individual bricks. So many bricks make a wall, four walls make a room, and several rooms make up a story. Several stories make up a one whole building. Similarly, knowledge is made up of a hierarchy of schemata and subschemata that embedded into one another. A schema, therefore, is a data structure for representing the generic concepts stored in our memory. There are schemata representing our knowledge about all concepts, objects, situations, events, sequences of events and actions, and sequences of actions. There are five key features of schemata. First, variables. Second, embedding or nesting. Third, level of abstractions. Fourth, the representation of knowledge. And the last is the active processes. Variables and schemata. Variables in schemata represent different aspects of a concept. For example, in the schema for buy, variable includes buyer, seller, merchandise, and money. When you activate the buy schema, you also activate the variables associated with it. These are the buyer, seller, merchandise, and money. In addition, you call to mind persons, objects, and sub-events that are associated with the variables of the schema. You know, for example, that the buyer and seller are normally people, and that the medium of exchange is usually money. In addition, you know that the value of the money in questions will be in proportion to the value of the merchandise. Schemata embedding. Schemata can be nested within one another, such as the schema for addition within mathematics, which in turn within school. Levels of abstractions in schemata. Schemata can range from concrete, example, making an omelette, to abstract or interpreting map symbols. Schemata can represent levels of abstractions. Some schemata may be concrete, such as the schema for making an omelette, and some may be abstract, such as that for relating symbols in map legends to real geographic properties. Schemata as an active processes. Schemata are dynamic and can change based on new experiences. They are continually updated through assimilation and accommodation. Okay, let's go to the assimilation versus accommodation. Assimilation integrating new information into existing schemata, while the accommodation is the changing existing schemata or creating new ones to fit new information. I have likened knowledge structure to a building and a schema to a brick or hollow block. There is, however, a basic difference between a brick and a building and a schema. Once a brick is cemented in a wall, it remains there. A schema, on the other hand, is dynamic and ever changing. Our schemata are such that they can be changed as a result of new different experiences related to existing schemata. The knowledge structure, therefore, is continually shifting, whereas building, barring earthquakes and the like, more or less stays in a place. The dynamic nature of schemata can be illustrated using the schema for buying. A young child, because of limited experiences, may assign only the value coins and bills for the variable money. Subsequent experience, however, will make him realize that the other values are possible. See, we can say checks, credit cards, promissory note, bids, as well as by engines long ago. When more values are added to existing variables, the process is called assimilation. Okay, again, when more values are added to existing variables, the process is called assimilation. Assimilation does not change an individual concept, but allows it to grow. It is a continuous process that helps the individual to integrate new incoming stimuli into existing schemata. If the individual meets information which cannot fit into the existing schema, then the alternative is either to construct a new category or to change the existing one. When a schema or concept is developed, or when an existing schema is changed, the process is called accommodation. Schema theory and reading comprehension. Schema theory possessed that comprehension is not just about decoding text but involves using prior knowledge or schemata to interpret and understand new information. The concept of schema is important to an interactive definition of reading. Schema theory postulates that a spoken or written text does not itself carry meaning. Instead, meaning is created by using previously acquired knowledge or schemata. The theory specifies how prior knowledge in the reader's memory interact with and shapes incoming information from the text, and how this knowledge must be organized to support this interaction. We have the three types of schemata in reading. One is script knowledge, two knowledge about language, and the third is knowledge about text. First, the script knowledge. A script knowledge refers to knowledge about common experiences and routines. This helps understanding narratives and filing in details not explicitly stated by the author. Script knowledge refers to mundane and everyday information stored in our memory. It is derived from repeated experiences with people, places, events, and situations in day to day living. Your knowledge of what happens in school, shopping, bus terminal, restaurant, basketball games, and are like the example of script knowledge. Other kind of scripts refers to procedures and ways of doing things. Obviously, people who share the same culture acquire a large number of common script. Knowledge about language includes graphophonic, syntactic, and semantic knowledge. It helps understanding word meanings, sentence structures, and language use in context. These categories of schemata govern the use and sequence, connotative, and figurative word and structural features such as word order, etc. Depend on the context in rules and relationship to each other. To express refers to how language is used in a pragmatic system. Language cannot exist outside of a people will pronounce word differently, use different dialects, or use parents their parents use language differently. People address their parents. Their language will not be the same as when they are speaking to their childrens. Similarly, the way teachers use language with their students is differently from the way they use language. Okay, let us have the last part of my report. Knowledge of text structure. Understanding how texts are organized helps in comprehension. This includes recognizing cohesion and the general structure used in different genre. Example, narrative versus expository. Okay, that's all my report. Thank you for listening.